Congratulations for finishing previous section. This section I want to talk about 2D transform, and in this lecture I want to talk about translate method. I clean this part from previous section. Okay, what is translate method? The translate method moves an element from its current position according to the parameters given for the x-axis and the y-axis. I create a div and the translate method moves an element from its current position. Okay, save and refresh and set div open curly brackets, set width 300 pixels. Okay, and height for 100 pixels, and then set background color to be yellow. Save. There you go. Then set border 1 pixel solid and black. Save. Fantastic. Now I want set transform. I want moves the div element 50 pixels to the right, 50 pixels to the right, and 100 pixels to down. Okay, set translate 50 pixels to the right and 100 pixels 50 pixels to the right. Save. Okay, and 100 pixels to the down. There you go. Fantastic. I use translate method and use this box 50 pixels to the right and 100 pixels to the down. I want to talk about rotate method. The rotate method rotates an element clockwise or counterclockwise according to a given degree. For example, I change the text to the this is a normal div element and create another div, set id rotate and the rotate method rotates an element clockwise or counterclockwise clockwise. Okay. Save. I delete this one. Set a style for normal div with 30 pixels. Height 100 pixels. Sorry, with 300 pixels, not 30 pixels. 300 pixels and height 100 pixels. Background color for yellow, same as before. Border 1 pixels. Solid and black. Save. There you go. And then set a rotate ID. I want rotate this div clockwise with 20 degrees. Rotate, set transform, rotate, and 20 degree. Okay, save. Refresh. There you go. Set 20, rotate 20 degree clockwise. If I set rotate and if I set this element counterclockwise, I should use negative, minus or negative 20 degrees, and save. Refresh. There you go. If you want to set your element clockwise, do not use negative, but if you want to set counterclockwise, use negative for your degrees. Fantastic. Please practice on rotate scale method. The scale method increase or decrease the size of an element according to the parameters given for the width and height. Okay, I clean this one and set clean this one, set another text. This the element is 2 times of its original width and 3 times of its original height. Okay, save. I set a style for my div, set margin 150 pixels. Okay, set width 200 pixels and height 100 pixels. Background color to be yellow. Good. And border 1 pixel solid and black. Okay, now I want increase the div element to be 2 times of its original width and 3 times of its original height. Set transform and set a scale. Two times of its original width. Save. Yes, there you go. And 3 times of its original height. Save. Fantastic. Excellent. It's very simple. Now I want decrease the div element to be half of its original width and height. Then set scale to be 0.5 and 0.52, half of its original width and height. Half of its original width and height. Okay, save, refresh. There you go. Fantastic. Okay, just it. Please practice on scale method. Skew X method. The skew X method skews an element along the X axis by the given angle. Okay, this and this is normal div element. I create another div, set ID to be skew X. This div is skewed 20 degrees along the x-axis is the axis. Okay, save, set a style for div with 30 pixels, height 100 pixels, background color yellow, and border 1 pix solid and black. Save. Set a style for this skew x. I want skew in this div to 20 degrees align the x axis. Set skew x and transform skew x 20 degrees. Save and refresh. There you go. I set a skew for these divs to 20 degrees along the x axis. The skew y method. The skew y method skews an element along the y axis by the given angle. I changed this div to skew y and degrees align y axis. Remove this one. Save. Okay. Set ID. Skew y and transform. I want set this div 20 degrees along the y axis to skew y 20 degrees. Save. There you go. Fantastic. It's very simple. And I create a new div. Set ID skew y. Set skew y to 20 degrees. A skew method. The skew method skews an element along the x and y axis by the given angles. I delete this one and this one. Create another div. Set an ID to be skew. This div element is skew (20 degrees) along the x-axis and 10 degrees along y-axis. Okay. Save, refresh. I want set skew for this div 20 degrees along the x-axis and 10 degrees along the y-axis. set skew id transform skew 20 degrees from x-axis and 10 degrees from y-axis. Save, refresh. Fantastic. 20 degrees from x-axis and 10 degrees from y-axis. If the second parameter is not specified, it has a 0 value. For example, if I don't set a y-axis is not specified, it has a 0 value, and save, refresh. There you go. Okay, if I don't set second parameter, the second parameter will be 0 value. That is a skew. Practice on this part. Matrix method. Matrix method combines all the 2D transform methods into one. The matrix method takes 6 parameters containing mathematical functions, which allows you to rotate, scale, move or translate, and skew elements. I delete this one and this one. Just keep normal div set an id first and this element use matrix method. I create another div, set id second. This element use another matrix method. Save. Good. I use first use first id and set transform. Use matrix and set 1 for scale x. Save. Nothing happened. And minus 0.3. Save. Nothing happened. Because I should use a scale x, a skew y, a skew x, a scale y, translate x, translate y in matrix. Then I use 1 for a scale x, minus 0.3 for a skew y, and set 0 for skew x, and I want to set a scale y to 1. Then translate x to be 0, translate y to be 0 2. Okay, and save, refresh. There you go. Set 1 for a scale x minus 0.3 for skew y, 0 for skew x. Set the scale y for 1 and translate x 0, translate y to be 0. I set another matrix for my second div. Transform and use matrix. Set 1 for a scale x, 0 for skew y, 0.5 for skew x, 1 for scale y, and say nothing happened. And set other format, 150 for translate x, and save. I want to change it or not, because I should set translate y and to be 0. Save, refresh. There you go. I should set all of them. A scale x, then skew y, then skew x, a scale y, translate x, and translate y. That's it. Okay, this is a matrix in 2D transform.